Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am sharing my entry for the Clean and Simple Genius category of the annual Card Design Superstar contest organized by My Favorite Things. That's a whole bunch of words, well, this is one of the 3 categories where you can enter a card from yourself. This year it should be a new card which fits the category itself, of course. And then you might win a big prize. My Favorite Things does this every year. It's a ton of fun. There is tons of inspiration going because, well, a lot of people are participating. And one of the categories is a clean and simple, which is my favorite kind of card to make. So I decided to start on that card the moment that the contest was announced. So I made this card last weekend, not the previous one, but the one before the operation. And so I see that the days are slipping by, and I'm kind of getting worried that currently I'm not able yet to make any cards. So I'm glad that I made this one already, and I can just focus on the voiceovers to share with you still. But I would love to have 2 more entries because, if you enter each category, you have more chances to win. And it's a huge prize, so it can always be handy to have a bit of a big gift certificate to then just shop without thinking about what you need really and what you might not necessarily need but you just want. So therefore, I hope to be crafting soon. If so, I will share as quick as possible. But so far, I just have this card for the contest. Now, clean and simple. There are many ways to create a clean and simple card. One of the ways is to do as I am doing this time. You create a focal point on your card by ink blending, by using your markers, by using pattern paper, anything like that. And then you add an image or a few, and you really have a simple design. There are other options. There is also a thing where I love to work around one image only, or if you love coloring on craft cardstock, I think that has a lot of impact. You can also color one image on there, or you can do a minimalistic background. For example, you have a tiny scene and then you use, if you make a Christmas card, some white jelly roll pens to help you add a few snow splatters, kind of. And then you also have a clean and simple design. Truly clean and simple, it's not only about having tons of white space, because I know that white space can be really daunting. And I remember myself, when I started creating cards, I made like a ton of scene cards. And the moment that I started on like the clean and simple cards, I was always afraid that the white was just too much, that there wasn't enough going on. So I get that white can scare, but you don't necessarily need to have white on a clean and simple card. You can also create a really gorgeous gradient or blending and then just work from there with a few images, or you can create a stunning background and then use some dies, word dies, that you can add to that background. Truly tons of possibilities. So don't be scared by this category, and if you're here and you're still scared, then I think there is a ton of inspiration on my channel to get you going with clean and simple, because truly I think that 99% of what I create is clean and simple. So therefore, I'm sure that you can too. Now for my card, well, the background is already finished, or I'm working with some kind of a focal point on my background. This time a vertical stripe, but not just a stripe, but I tear the paper again because it's really a ton of fun, and I'm saying to everyone that it is addictive. So I should show you how addictive it is. So therefore, I did that for the background, and I used a blue combination to create a gradient, and I'm going to try to get the same blue gradient or combination on my Copic coloring here. For the images, I'm using this one image from the No One Stacks Up to You stamp set for my favorite things. I think this was released last year, but it's really a gorgeous one. And if you like this card design, you can use any of the stamps from this stamp set and just recreate this card in many ways without getting bored, I think. So for the Copic combinations, I gladly refer to my blog post in case you want to revisit later on what I used here. I'm also using some grays in my blue combination. I don't know if you saw that, but that is still inspired by the card by Nikki Meek, the one that I shared on Saturday. Past Saturday, well, the 3 cards there was a pink with gray combination. So I thought, well, let's try that with some BGs. And I think it kind of works out as well. So yeah, I use the same colors all over. This is also something that for me leads towards a clean and simple card. Not necessarily, and it is also not obligated. As in, me personally, I like to have all of the colors returning as much as possible. It makes it for me clean and simple. But you don't need to. This card will also be clean and simple, even if I would have changed all of the accessories in different colors, maybe even a rainbow, that would still have been clean and simple and tons of fun. But maybe that can be a way for you to create a clean and simple card by reusing colors, maybe a monochrome that can also kind of turn out clean and simple. It all depends on what you prefer making, but maybe there is even like, if you like making scene cards, I would just try to limit your scene, to really check if there are elements that you can leave out, and then maybe instead of making that grand background, try to do it in a smaller area on that background, you know? You can still do that whole scene that you wanted to do, but just make it smaller. Just make it less. And that might be the clean and simple that is totally in your alley. You never know. So I'm almost done with the coloring. And I will take the matching dies to cut these cuties out. And then we will think about the sentiment and assembling and all of those things. So to keep my die in place, I am using some purple tape. And then I can roll it through my die cutting machine. And for the sentiment, I decided to go with the Itty Bitty Holiday stamp set from my favorite things, which is a truly awesome stamp set. There are other Itty Bitty stamp sets that are really amazing. So in case you're wondering which stamp set you should use, and you have these sets, then you will be sure to have one that fits the occasion that you need. So I decided to go with the Cozy Christmas Wishes. I'm going to white heat emboss it on black cardstock, so the white is going to match with my snow, and then I will cut it out to a sentiment strip. Now, because I'm not the best white heat embosser in the world, or embosser just in general, I decided to stamp it out twice to just have at least one of them that worked out. And then I'm going to take the Ranger Embossing Powder White Superfine Detail, add it on top and tap off all of the excess before heat setting these sentiments. Now once I did that, I could just cut it into a sliver, and then I will figure out placement more. So here we have our sentiment strip and the image on top of the background. And here you can really see that, according to me at least, the blue really corresponds well with the background that I have created. I'm making sure that the sentiment is straight, and then I will add the images using some thin foam squares. And then I will add it on the right side of my ink blended area. like that. Now I contemplated, because it's a clean and simple category, whether I was going to leave it as is or add a few more elements. And normally I would say it's perfect as is, but today's card I decided to add some iridescent stars. Not too much, truly. I'm just adding 5 stars, I think. Here and there is quite a large area with the ink blending, and I think it's needed to really see all of the colors great. But just to fill it up a tiny bit, but not in your face, the iridescent stars really help a lot. Iridescent is always a good way to go, in my opinion, when you want to add embellishments but you don't want to distract too much. So I did that, and then I'm going to add this panel to a card base. And my card for the My Favorite Things Clean and Simple Genius category is finished. So this is my card for today and for this contest. I hope that I could inspire you. Don't forget to participate. There are 3 categories. Maybe you're a bit scared of the clean and simple, but there are others that might be totally in your alley. So maybe you should first start on those, and then you can still return to the clean and simple if it scares you a tiny bit today. However, I hope that I could inspire you, that you enjoyed this video, and let's cross our fingers. Have a wonderful day, and I'll be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!